Hello, young explorers. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered about the twinkling stars? What if I told you there's a spaceship orbiting Earth right now called the International Space Station, where astronauts live and work? Fascinating, isn't it? The International Space Station, or ISS for short, is like a large spacecraft in space, and it's also a home where astronauts live. Imagine having a sleepover in space. Sounds exciting, right? Well, that's what the astronauts do on the ISS. Join the astronauts on board ISS, where every day is a new adventure, a unique blend of scientific discovery and unimaginable wonder. Now, you might be wondering, how big is this space station? The ISS is so big that it would cover a football field, including the end zones. That's about 357 feet long. It's the largest human-made body in low Earth orbit and can often be seen with the naked eye from Earth. The ISS travels around the Earth at a speed of about 28,000 kilometers per hour. That's so fast that it orbits Earth every 90 minutes. So, astronauts on the ISS witness 16 sunrises and sunsets each day. Imagine seeing such beautiful views every day. But what do astronauts do up there, in the middle of nowhere? Great question. Astronauts do a lot of science experiments that require the one thing not found on Earth, microgravity. They study how plants grow and how crystals form, among other things. You see, the ISS is not just a home, it's also a science lab. Many countries work together to build it. They each made different pieces of it, like a giant jigsaw puzzle, and then sent the pieces into space to be assembled. Living in space is not exactly like living on Earth. For example, there is no up or down, and everything, including the astronauts, floats. This might sound like fun, but it can also be challenging. Imagine trying to eat your dinner, and it floats away. There's no gravity pulling things down, so astronauts can float around like superheroes. They sleep in special sleeping bags that keep them from floating away. And when they want to eat, they have to be careful not to let their food float away too. But don't worry, astronauts are well trained to live and work in this unique environment. They exercise for 2 hours a day to keep their muscles strong, and they even have specially packaged space food to eat. They drink water recycled from their own breath and sweat. Sounds gross, but don't worry, it's perfectly clean. The ISS is also a major launch pad for missions to the Moon and Mars. It's like a stepping stone, a place where we learn about living in space before traveling further into the solar system. Why is the ISS important? The ISS helps us learn about living in space, which is important for future space travel. It's also a place where we can test new technologies and study things that we can't study on Earth. Plus, it's a great example of how people from all over the world can work together for a big space adventure. In conclusion, the International Space Station is not just a spaceship, it's a home, a science lab, and a step toward future space exploration. So next time you look up at the night sky, try to spot the ISS, and remember the incredible things that are happening up there. Keep exploring, young astronauts, and always remember, the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning.